What's going on, everyone? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're shooting a video right now, and this video is about parents don't know how to have kids or babies. Either one. And you don't even have to question this. You can just really see how they treat the kid and how the kid grows up. And you don't have to watch it as the kid evolution. You don't have to. You can see it all around you. Bad parents equal bad kids. It's very easy. Most of the stuff, people are like, oh, I laugh all the time. I laugh so much that I have to reduce my laughing because the world can't take it. So I laugh all the time because shit's so funny and it's so simplistic. It really is. But people want to compete and they want to make things complex, and they're just so many things, but when it comes down to it, they're making things more complex than it is. Especially our life. Our life is very basic. We don't need like all stuff. Anyways, that's a whole different subject. If you want to, how can the parents raise kids if they can't even raise themselves? So if a parent, this is the main point that I want to bring. If a parent yells at a kid that has a kid, obviously they have no clue what they're doing. Why? It's just so funny to me. Why is this? Well, because they don't. If you're yelling at a kid, doesn't matter how old the kid is, especially, I've seen people yell at 2-year-olds. I've seen people yell at 4-year-olds. It doesn't even matter what age the kid is. They don't understand what yelling does. That's my whole point. When you yell at the kid, you create, first of all, the kid doesn't even understand. And they're like 3 or 4. Get this. I've had people say, oh no, they understand. No, they fucking don't. No, they fucking don't. And the kids, why kids defy their parents? Because their kids boss them around and tell them what to do and what not to do. That's not how to do it. That's not free. That's not freedom. That's not letting your kid be free. And you'll see that in the future, because they're going to cause... I'm not going to get into how this all happens, how the soul gets into the body, because I understand how the soul gets into the body, and why the soul has to deal with all these problems, why the soul has trauma, because they picked all this family and they designated it all to them. I'm not getting all that spiritual work. There's more behind it, but just on the surface level, so you get it, and so you understand it. So when you yell at a kid, there's no way they understand you. And when you yell at them, that reinforces them to go do it again. Because it makes them want to reciprocate that anger and give it to you. It's as simple as that. You give anger, you're going to give anger back. Especially to a child. That simple. When you're yelling at a kid, the kid doesn't understand you. No, it doesn't. I'm calling everyone out in their lies from now on when they lie in front of my face, whether it's a sick person. Because before I was not saying I was being passive about it, but you know, some people aren't going to do shit anyway. But like people act like I'm dying or they're very sick. Well, you're also fat as fuck. You know what I mean? So something needs to be said. Something needs to be done. And no one's ever going to tell them, because everyone's basically a pussy, and they're probably not going to do anything about it. Maybe they're unaware, but if you have a problem, it's up to you to get to the bottom of it. No one else is going to get to the bottom of it for you. It's funny because it's only when you're really against the ring is when most people come out and do something spectacular, such as have a life transformation, whatever it's changing their body weight, or just making something, becoming a best fighter. It's not until, or becoming rich, because they're in such a corner, they're in such a bad spot, that they change their life around. Anyways, so when you yell at a baby, like how crazy is that? Like, people are yelling at their baby. A baby. I'm not even talking 11-year-old. Even 11-year-old, you shouldn't be yelling at it. They don't comprehend it. And this is my point of the whole video. If they don't comprehend it, and you're yelling at them, then you don't comprehend it. Yelling at a baby and they don't understand it, and neither do you. You obviously don't understand it, so that's why you're yelling at them. If you understood what yelling actually does, just yelling and raising your voice in a certain manner, the way you're directing your energy, and it's not about all this psyche shit. If you're yelling at the child, you're creating trauma. You're scaring. The child is in fear. He's not going to trust you. This is going to be the perfect opportunity for him to rebel. He's going to rebel. She's going to rebel against you. So when you tell a child all the time, oh, don't do that. Whatever the name is of the baby, don't do that. They're going to be frightened, and then they're going to want to do it again. Don't ask me why, but just know that. All these people are raising kids wrong. They can't even raise themselves wrong, obviously, if they can't be respectable around the baby and know how to hold themselves. Most people don't at all. I mean, it's absolutely so hilarious. And I see people yell at the kids all the time, as if they understand it. They don't. They do not understand it. And obviously you don't either. How could you? You're like a little kid. You're no better than them. Except you have a bigger body and you might be a little bit smarter. Obviously you're not that smart to yell at a kid. And I'm talking very young. I'm talking babies to very young adolescents, okay? Not like teenagers, but even teenagers are still not going to understand that. No, they're not. You have to be fully grown. I don't know what age that's at for someone. No one should be yelling at their children anyway. It's stupid. There's nothing to come out of it. Yeah, something might come out of it, but it's going to be on all odds. It's not going to be for you. It's going to be against you. Very rare, and that's no way to raise a child. Does it even sound right or make sense? Anyway, someone yelling at someone is just them being angry. Has nothing to do with the child or the baby. So that's it. This can be talked about forever, especially, but that's it. Have a nice one.